The third black woman that I ever gone out with told me specifically that I didn't look like I disliked black women, but I looked like I wouldn't know what to do with one if I got one.
So I just got a DM from somebody calling me a traitor to my race. Why is it always the ones obsessed with racial purity?
So I heard some crazy stuff on my posts for my liking black women over the weekend.
I get a few comments like this because I'm in an interracial marriage, but
They use us to get likes and comments. Please do not comment on this. This man does not like black women.
With how much I talk about my love for black women, how much I post about it, how much I say I love black women, I feel like that there's some people out there that think that I'm fetishizing them.
Seeing a beautiful black woman with a white man will almost certainly trigger a white woman's main character syndrome every time.
So apparently, a white man dating a black woman is still controversial in 2026. Yeah, people are still debating about it, criticizing it, and even questioning the motives behind it. Why does this specific pairing trigger so many opinions? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unfiltered For You Stories. I'm Bernadette. If you're new here, you're most welcome. If you've been on TikTok, or even just on social media, you have probably seen comments like, he has a fetish. He couldn't get a white woman. Why didn't you date your own race? So we are going to watch a few clips where some of these white men are trying to explain themselves and talking about why are people so much on them? Why are people questioning them for dating black women? And without wasting much time, let's jump into this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll catch up with you after these clips are played.
So I just got a DM from somebody calling me a traitor to my race. Why is it always the ones obsessed with racial purity who be looking a little bit too pure? You know what I mean? Like, your family tree is a houseplant. Your parents are cousins, and they're your cousins too. If you could get a significant other, you would be related on both sides of your family. Like, somehow I'm inferior for landing this baddie? Look at my face. I know how good I got it. I'd ask you to do the math, but...
I get a few comments like this because I'm in an interracial marriage, but it's just water for ducks back. At the end of the day, I didn't need to get married in order to get a Zambian citizenship. That was not my aim. If one day the Republic of Zambia were to bestow upon me an honorary citizenship, I'd be chuffed to bits because I love Zambia and I love all things about the whole continent of Africa. But for now, I'll just travel with my British and Irish passports. It's enough for now, at least. But thanks for your comment.
So I heard some crazy stuff on my posts for my liking black women over the weekend. I think the craziest one was stick to my own kind. I pretty much thought I was. I mean, humankind, we're all the same, just a little bit different color skin. The next one was that me liking black women is a fetish. I thought a fetish was when you get tied up or some weird shit like that, but I never knew that someone having different color skin is a fetish. And third of all, that I only want a black woman because I want her to serve me. Well, every black woman I ever dated, I pretty much served them and did what I could for them. So it's 2025, people. I can't believe that you still have these views. Well, I spread some love today. Love everybody. You have a good day.
The third black woman that I ever gone out with told me specifically that I didn't look like I disliked black women, but I looked like I wouldn't know what to do with one if I got one. And I think about that every day, unfortunately.
They use us to get likes and comments. Please do not comment on this. This man does not like black women. Before I say anything, excuse the hair because I just got out of the shower. But I digress. My question is, what makes you think or believe that I dislike black women? Although that's not even close to being true. If you obviously happen to know me very well, madam, you'll know that almost all the women that I've dated and the girlfriends I had are black women. And right now, I am currently taken with a beautiful black queen who I've actually known since high school. Also, I've been doing black women appreciation posts on TikTok since 2022. And the reason why that I do those posts is because black women are not only the groups of people that I, as a white boy, prefer to date, but also, sadly, black women are the groups of people that are the most hated, mistreated, stereotyped, discriminated, always becoming a target of multiple types of discrimination, being harassed by police, racially profiled, and any other harmful racial situations because of their skin color, race, and etc. As much as black women don't deserve those things, no other groups of people deserve it either, because I'm against any forms of racism and hate. Black women always get a lot of criticism because of them being diverse, especially the fact they build interracial relationships and date people outside of their race, when the fact of the matter is all groups of people are meant to be united while cultures are also meant to be shared. Love has no color. Isn't that everyone always says? The reason why you decide to be like that is because you believe in being quick to judge while not knowing this term called never judge a book by its cover. Or maybe you're just saying that because you probably have an issue with a white boy supporting and uplifting black women. And besides, it is way too late for you to be saying that because I've been heavily endorsed by thousands and thousands of black queens since 2022. Because black women love being uplifted and being supported. When you want love and respect, you spread it, and that's how you receive it in return. It costs $0 to spread kindness. I'm sure you agree with me on this. Here's an honest tip for you, Yasmin. Know someone first before you become quick to judge. Just saying.
With how much I talk about my love for black women, how much I post about it, how much I say I love black women, I feel like that there's some people out there that think that I'm fetishizing them. And I can't say that there's no sexual attraction. I mean, I'm a man, I have hormones, that's just how my brain works. But I can say for a fact it's not strictly sexual attraction. The things that are usually fetishized, their booty, their chest, their lips, and their hips, all that stuff, it's nice. Admittedly, it's nice, but it's not the only thing I find attractive about them. And it's very much not going to be the first thing I compliment on them because that's just rude. I will only compliment them on it or talk about it once we're comfortable enough in a relationship, for obvious reasons. But the main things, and this is something that when I was a kid, I didn't find attractive. Well, not necessarily that, but I thought that this was the reason why black people and white people shouldn't mix. And it was simply, I thought that things that look different don't go together, which is ironic because my mom's Mexican and my dad's white. They're in an interracial relationship, yet I thought that. Anywho, the main thing that I find attractive and beautiful about black women is our differences. The things that makes me different from a black woman. Me as a half-white, half-Hispanic man and a black woman. And the main things are skin color, obviously. Just the drastic difference is just interesting and beautiful to me. And, another major thing I love about black women, and how different it is their hair. Mainly their natural hair. I love how different it is from mine. I also just think it looks beautiful in general, not just with the differences. But I understand that for many black women, their natural hair is a bit of a hassle, so they choose not to wear it out. And understandable, but I love it when black women rock their natural hair. I love it because I just love the uniqueness of their hair. It's just beautiful to me. I also love the different hairstyles that they do, not just with their natural hair, because it's hairstyles that are mainly unique to them, and it's just absolutely beautiful to me. I don't know how to properly explain this. I don't know if any of this is going to come out right, but I just want to say the main thing I find beautiful about black women is their differences from between me and them. It's the fact that we are different, but at the same time, we are the same because we are human beings. That's what I find beautiful about them. Another thing is, some of the kindest people to me, the people who have been the kindest to me aside from family members, have been black women. Many of my multiple of my female friends, the ones that have been the kindest to me, have been black women compared to other races. And I'm not saying that other races are not kind, but it's just my experience, my personal experience. I'm not saying that there have been no black women that have been terrible to me, but I'm just saying. And the ones that I've dated, even though we're now exes, obviously, even they were very kind. I mean, the first black woman I dated, she ended the relationship for good reasons, because it was my fault. I was not respecting her boundaries, and I take full responsibility of that. And from then to now, I still believe she is a good person. She has a good heart. All that. Second black woman I dated, she broke up with me a week after the relationship started, mainly because she did not want to lead me on. She did not want to drag out the relationship knowing that she couldn't reciprocate what I would be giving. And so she ended it before things got too messy and before I could really get hurt. And that was a very, though it kind of sucked at the time, I can recognize that it was very kind for her to do that, because she did that out of care. And the main example I want to talk about that has shown me how kind black women are, how kind-hearted they can be, is the fact that I go to a black church, or I try to. I've been very busy with work lately and all that. I keep getting morning shifts on Sundays, so. But I started going to a black church, and I try to visit as much as I can. I really need to get better at that. But I try to go to a black church as much as I can. I mean, I'm technically a member of this church. I'm technically already listed as someone who is a part of this church. But when I first visited with my grandmother and my uncle, I was very worried that I would not be welcomed. I'd be met with stares. I'd be told to leave and all that. But the main people that made me feel welcome was the older black women. I'm not saying I'm attracted to older black women. Well, I'm not saying I'm not, but mainly like grandmother age, older black women. That's the main thing. But just everyone at the church, even though it was mainly black women that were just so kind and welcoming to me, despite the fact that I looked different. And it was just, I felt very welcome. And that's not something I can say for many other spaces I've tried to be in throughout my life. And I can also give credit to the black men. They were also very kind. But I'm just saying black women because that's just an example to me that shows how kind they've been to me. And so that's the main thing I find. That's actually the major thing that I find attractive about black women. And I can't say that I'm a perfect man, but I try to work to be a good man. I try to work to be a good person because that's the kind of person I want to surround myself with. I've been around too many terrible people. I've seen what terrible people are like. I've had to deal with terrible people enough to where I know that I don't want to be like that. I know that there are some people who have bad experiences with terrible people, and because of that, it makes them a terrible person. But for me, after dealing with all that, I don't want to be like them. Because I don't want to treat people the way they treated me. And so the main type of person I want to be with is someone who is good-hearted and kind-hearted. Because that's someone I can really see myself being with for a while, is if they are a good person with a good heart. And I want to work to be able to call myself the same thing, and I'm trying I still don't know if I can say that I'm a good person, but I'm still trying. And my experience with black women has been fairly positive. I mean, a lot of them have been very nice to me, very kind to me, and not many people I've met throughout my life have been kind to me. But yeah, anyways, this wasn't meant to be a 10-minute video, but I don't know. But yeah, that was my explanation for how my attraction to black women is not strictly sexual, and I do not fetishize them one bit.
Seeing a beautiful black woman with a white man will almost certainly trigger a white woman's main character syndrome every time. If you're a white woman that follows me right now, you better not be getting that thumb ready to scroll, please. Because that was embarrassing what happened on that other video. Don't do that. Stay and listen. Like you would want a man to stay and listen when I talk shit about men. Be the change you want to see in the world, okay? Now, you may have heard me talk about main character syndrome in men, which is the idea that they are the main character and that everybody else around them fits into that narrative somehow, either as the sidekick, either as the villain, the mentor, etc. And when you are raised in a hierarchy, especially, again, a hierarchy that involves race as explicitly as the American hierarchy involves it, it's turtles all the way down. It's the same thing all the way down. While white men definitely do have the most amount and like the most egregious case of main character syndrome, everybody who participates in the American hierarchy, in the American caste system, all of these behaviors and actions, like they trickle all the way down. Yes, white men have like this very intense main character syndrome, but white women have also been given a very specific narrative about their place in that situation. And so they also have main character syndrome. That's where when a white man marries a black woman, it triggers white women's narrative. It triggers the narrative that something was taken from them because their whole life they grew up watching white Disney princesses end up with a white Disney prince. So that's how it goes. That's how you play the game, right? You take this doll and they go together, and that's how you play the game. What's triggered is that you are not supposed to be part of that narrative in any way as a black woman. You are not supposed to reap the benefits of being this close to the top of the hierarchy, right? It's almost like they see it in their eyes as like you've skipped a few steps on the ladder and you've ended up like, you know, in a place that they could have gotten. It's kind of like that problem that white people have with affirmative action, right? It's like, well, what if there was a white person that was qualified to take that spot and you just took it from them? Like, don't you feel bad? And this is why affirmative action is needed, because people think like that. Like you just told on yourself very loudly. But that's what it is. They are also confused because a white man isn't supposed to want a black woman. Like a white man is also supposed to be trained to want a white woman, to want the aesthetic, right, of a white woman. And just for everybody wondering how I know these things, it's education. Yes, some of it is observation, but it's reading books by black educators, but especially black women. I do Audible a lot. Like I actually have read a lot more than this, but I do a lot of Audible, so I'll just screenshot some recommendations for any other white people wanting to get educated. You can know these things in your heart, you can know things are wrong in your heart, but to actually be able to educate others or like put words to these things that actually like make sense, you have to listen to black women, especially because they have all the nuance. Okay, all the nuance is there. This is from Me and White Supremacy by Layla F. Saad. And she says, black women around the world experience this white gaze lens of being seen as angry, strong, aggressive, and wild, as well as being believed to be lesser in intelligence and beauty than other women. They are seen as either the aggressive adversary, the sassy sidekick, or the deferent devotee to white women. So of course a white woman is triggered and confused when you are chosen by a white man who was supposed to be the prince to her princess in her fairy tale, right? Like it immediately makes sense. She's like, how can you like this aggressive and wild, angry and strong woman when I was taught my whole life that to get a man, I have to be all the opposite of these things? Obviously, the black woman can be whatever she is. Like, she's not obviously automatically angry or wild or any of these things. You don't know that. But in your mind as a white woman, that's what you assume, because these stereotypes have been so readily fed to you. And not only that, but you have been taught to be the opposite of these stereotypes. So to a white man, it should have been a no-brainer based on the stereotypes. And at the end of the day, what's upsetting, again, is that they have worked really hard for this certain thing that was pretty much supposed to be all but guaranteed to be theirs. And here comes somebody basically cutting in line. You are never supposed to surpass them on the ladder up to the top. because white women are supposed to get the opportunity first. Not only that, but a white man is never supposed to pick a black woman. You know, that's why so many white women are such pick-me's, because they were literally taught that men will pick you if you do certain things, and they actually put stock into that and grew up training themselves to do these things, to be unproblematic, to be very easygoing, keep sweet, pray and obey, whatever, right? Now they're surprised because their expectations have been subverted, right? It's that because whiteness comes from a lack mentality, it's that liking anything about a black woman is automatically an insult to a white woman. A crazy way to think, obviously, but nevertheless it happens. And the emulation stems from kind of the exact same place. White women have always been told that they are the beauty standard. It was like Marilyn Monroe, like if the sex symbol was always a white woman. But once the capitalists figured out they could exploit black women for that too, they were like, oh great, we'll just do that. Nobody thought about how that would affect the white women who have always been told that them being the highest standard of beauty is safe. It's safe and sound. Like no black woman will ever be considered as beautiful as like a mediocre looking white woman. Those days were past, right? All of a sudden. And all of a sudden they started being like, oh wait, there's something I'm missing out on. And it's this whole like, that should have been me. That should have been me and not you. Basically that idea, right? And there's also what's hard coded into capitalism, which is basically you either compete or you get left behind. So that's why all the Kardashian sisters went and got everything done like the way that they did. Because black women can be sex symbols now too. And white women raced, right? So they said, oh, so if these are the features that men want, then I will give them that. Me, a white woman. That's basically where I think that comes from. This part is for the white women that are, I trust, better still be here. Why do you need to look at anti-blackness against black women? It is my belief that the rising and empowerment of black women is one of the biggest threats to white supremacy. Knowing this, white supremacy works particularly hard to stifle, undermine, marginalize, demonize, and harm black women. All anti-blackness, regardless of who it is directed at, paints black people as inferior in all ways, except the ways that can be used by non-black people for non-black gain. When it comes to black women, this treatment is compounded by the added marginalization faced under sexism. From negative stereotypes that trap black women in a one-dimensional imagination to the way that black women's bodies have been treated less like the bodies of human beings and more like the bodies of animals. Anti-blackness against black women is killing black women, both physically and psychologically. So if you call yourself a feminist, you want to call yourself a feminist, you want to rah-rah under my videos where I talk shit about men, but you don't want to look at this, you don't want to look at anti-blackness against black women, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You're no better than Susan B. Anthony and her little minions, that when they were given their rights, they took them and ran with them. And they left the black women that worked with, that protested with, that marched with, did everything with. These white women left them in the dust to fend for themselves. They took their rights and they ran. And I'll be damned if anybody following me thinks it's going to be like that. It's not going to be like that, if I can help it. That's embarrassing. That's a shameful moment in American history and in American women's history especially. How you are in relationships with and to black women speaks volumes about where you are in your anti-racism journey. Do you feel like you cannot relate to black women? Do you covet black women's physical attributes yet secretly feel disdain for them as human beings? Do you assume black women are less educated, less affluent, and less capable than you? These are just some signs that you harbor anti-blackness against black women. This anti-blackness needs to be excavated, confronted, and owned in order for you to practice anti-racism. So let's get to work. It's something that we all have to continuously practice and reflect on, myself included. I may be from Ukraine, but America will definitely do a number on you. Like I said, it really forces you into this hierarchy, whether you want to be part of it or not. You cannot just go with the flow. You have to actively fight back against it. That's what people mean when they say, like, you need to educate yourself. They don't mean you're a horrible racist and you need to blah, blah, blah. What people mean when they say you need to get educated is you need to start swimming upstream. You need to stop going with the flow and you need to use your muscles to head upstream, because upstream is the only way to solve all of these problems. You need to go as far upstream as you can. So if you want to abolish one system of power, you have to go upstream and abolish them all. And the only way to do that is to get educated, because otherwise people, this world literally tells you, this country especially, but this world tells you in so many ways that it's okay to be racist. It excuses so much racist behavior that people don't even know they're doing it. And then when they're confronted with it, they feel ashamed and they freak out. Don't feel ashamed. Feel empowered. Feel empowered that you can be educated and that you can stop doing this shit. Okay? Let's get to work. Godspeed. Mwah.
So much as we are in 2026, interracial couples or relationships are still facing criticisms and being questioned so much, most especially a relationship between a white man and a black woman. These criticisms or questions come from all over, from white people, from black people, from everywhere. When you get into some of these people's comment sections, you can see that people are still questioning, people are still doubting, people are always finding something to talk about, to criticize, to give anything negative about these types of interracial couples or relationships. But why? So we can look into the history that is behind it. Relationships between white men and black women come with a long, complicated past. So here we are talking about power, inequality, and centuries of imbalance. So for some people, when they see a white man with a black woman, they don't just see a couple. They see history repeating itself, or at least they worry about it, even if the relationship is completely genuine. People still project those fears onto it. We all know the history behind black people and white people, from slavery, colonialism, so many things between the two races. So when some people see that, they still have that doubt. They still feel scared. They are like, I think what used to happen in the past is coming back. They begin asking, really, why? Why are you dating this? And they throw some provocative comments also, like, are you dating her just to get a Zambian passport? Or just to get a Zambian citizenship? Like, we have had one of the creators there who was asked about Zambian citizenship or passport, like, so that you can easily have access to a certain country in Africa, so that maybe you can come in the name of marriage while you are looking for other things. Maybe you're taking this African woman just to make her your servant. We have had those comments. So it's all about the history between black people and white people. But if a white man has genuine love for these black women, I don't think people should be doubting or having questions about it. Then the fetish accusation, people think that this white man is fetishizing a black woman. People assume that he is not dating her for who she is, but maybe just because she is black. But anyway, sometimes it does happen. The problem comes when people just begin assuming that every white man comes in that way, or every white man is fetishizing black women. Yeah, so even when it's real love, people always ask or question it. Then, of course, the stereotypes make it worse. This criticism is fueled by stereotypes, where black women are often labeled as too strong, too loud, or too masculine. So when a white man chooses a black woman, people, of course, act surprised or question his choice. While also at the same time, some people label white men in such relationships as weird, rebellious, or having a certain type. So it's just like people cannot accept that two people from different races can just genuinely love each other. Then, like one of the creators has talked about the challenging long-standing norm, where for a long time in Western societies, relationships were socially expected to stay within the same race. So when a white man dates a black woman, it breaks a pattern which some people grew up seeing as normal. Then we can also talk about the beauty standards that were set in the Western countries, where they label white women as the ideal beautiful women. Then the social comparison and insecurity, where one creator has talked about. To be honest, dating nowadays is seen as competitive in many people's minds. If someone sees a man that they assume or that they think that is likely to date within his own race, is choosing outside of it, it can trigger comparisons like, what does a black woman have that me as a white woman I do not have? Then the insecurity, like, am I not enough? So that can come out also as criticism to interracial couples. Then in some cases also, the reaction is rooted into biasness or prejudice. It may not show up as racism, but it can come out as dismissive comments. Yeah, we always read these comments on people's videos. Then some black men may criticize white men dating black women just as a protection instinct because of the historical context. Yeah, there's a long history where black women were really exploited or not protected, especially in societies shaped by racism and inequality. And because of that, some black men feel a protective instinct towards black women. So when a white man enters that space, it can trigger questions. That's where you find also in the comment section people asking like, can he really protect her? Can he really respect her? Does he understand her experiences? Then the perceived loss in the dating pool. If some black women are dating outside their race, a few black men may interpret this as we are being overlooked. We have also seen comments where some white men have been told like, do you even know what to do with a black woman? Then we are losing our women. So whom shall we have our black kids with? They are taking the most beautiful black women that we have, and many more other reasons which you can share in the comments. And with that, I'll end here. Thank you so much for staying with me. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. And if you found this interesting, please hit that like button, and let's catch up in the next one.